open this all up. Let's go. I think I got 10 on here. Yeah. So here's a bunch of ideas you guys can think about. Exclusive product bundles. Are there ways that you can bundle something that you're doing with somebody else's? Hey, we're doing this. Like I said, think about yourself as an organization. If you do, you can do this service, but we could also combine these services together. Co-branding campaigns. So, hey, in the market, we're trying to do this. Even if you guys separately take the business, you could share marketing resources. You could share the branding. You can have both of your logo. Hey, look on the bottom of this, both logos on this co-branding campaign, right? On the bottom of the slide. Joint innovation labs. And a lab can be like, like we say here, develop cutting edge products or service. I think even like a digital platform, right? One of the things that I'm doing with International Succession Planning Association is I'm helping create content just like this. This is an example of an innovation lab, building webinars, building content, building shared digital marketing, promotions, all that kind of stuff. You can do that with you could create, I've done this with other partners before, where you have your brand, they have their brand, and you create a sub-brand together, some kind of co-promoted thing that is maybe a workshop, a resource, a digital course, something that you can do that helps you market. You could even think about maybe offering a digital course or a series of courses or a YouTube channel where you collaborate, where you offer training for free to your ideal market that both of you use as a way to generate leads. And then you share those leads, you share those resources. Customer loyalty programs. I like this one a lot because even just, like rewarding customers for doing things like we see that a lot. Hey, I'm glad that you were here. This is great. And, you've been a client for a while. Because of that, we have exclusive deals with our joint partners, right? Because you're a loyal customer. Shared customer success teams. Especially as small service providers, we don't have ultimate resources to do a ton of things. But imagine I even have a note here on onboarding, pre-sale support, post-sale support, sharing chat widgets, sharing service teams. There's lots of ways you can go about it. Again, think like an organization. Exclusive access, early release, so you guys are thinking about doing something. So let's say you guys are so for those that are ISPA members, you're about to launch services with succession planning, but maybe you're kind of in that sort of pre-launch phase where you're beta testing. Maybe you're part of that fast action program that we've got, and you're kind of beta testing this idea. Now imagine you talk to your partners and say, hey, I'm trying to launch this thing. I haven't made it public to anybody yet. Do you have anybody that want to be part of that beta program? Now you get as a partner, they get as a partner the ability to go and offer something exclusive to their network because they believe what you're doing is important. So maybe to go back to the question you had, Chrissy, is that maybe in order to prove that, you give that partner that free service. So maybe you do a succession planning assessment tool with that partner, show them what the juice looks like, and then they go, oh man, that's awesome. I think my clients would like that. Could we create a team like that? That's an example. Cross promotion of services. Again, we're both doing the same things. I'm going to help you. You help me. Optimization strategy. That's one where you could look at sharing resources, streamline production, do competitive pricing. So again, that's where maybe we could share a resource, some kind of admin. You could share an account. You could share, technology fees. There's lots of ways to do that. Another one I like, data analytics and insight. Imagine you have, say, even like the BTC group. If you guys started to share your data, insights, what's happening in the market. We're seeing this in my business. Here's some statistics that make sense. In your business, statistic makes sense. You guys now have, as a collaborative strategic partner network, access to data that other people don't have. In our market, here's what's happening. Because they're part of this network, they're able on average annually, year after year, to increase their business by this percent. If you have stats like that, that gives you an unfair advantage, competitive edge. And then collaborative content creation, just like we're talking about here, it's really hard to do content. It's hard to build stuff. It's hard to, for me, it's not hard to talk that much, but it's really helpful for other people to create content. How many words did you put on this slide, Chrissy? None. I did it. Collaborative content creation. So this is where, we could do some really cool stuff. So think about somebody in your partner network that you guys share those same values, make some videos together. Go talk about stuff together. Go, one day you go at their office, one day you go at your office. Share the cost of buying the equipment, whatever it looks like, so you guys can come out of the gates running. Now imagine you had 3 or 4 or 5 people and you guys took turns. So maybe you only do a video once a month, but between the 5 of you, you have videos going out on a weekly basis. Now, what's possible in your market when people really trust a network?
That's excellent. And that way, you can also leverage everyone's strengths in a different way.
Yeah. And you could, we've got, because I do lots of online content, I get people all the time saying, "Hey, could I participate?" Yeah, cool. Let me interview you. Come on in. Let's talk about your business. And one of the things I'll tell you guys, you could even consider being your local interviewer or host of some kind of podcast, whether it's audio or video. Podcasts took off really well by people that wanted free coaching. People go, "Oh, I want to know how to grow my business. What's the easiest way to grow your business?" Well, I need coaching, but it's expensive. So why don't I interview experts? Bring those experts in, ask them all the questions you need to know, and all of a sudden you become that expert. There's some really awesome podcasts like Joe Rogan. You think about his podcast, he become an expert in a lot of different areas, or at least very knowledgeable because he brought in smarter people than him. So imagine what's possible in your network by co-creating content or being the one that people you interview to promote their brand and do lots of stuff. I had a friend and a client a while back. He started a business called Ask the CEO, and he was just getting started. So he created where he just asked all these tech CEOs and became like a micro influencer in that network. So he was talking to the CEOs at Microsoft and all these other tech companies, Nvidia, and he was getting access to people that you would never get access if you were cold calling. So some interesting stuff there.
That's amazing. But what is the red flag when an advisor is the advisor should consider when entering into a joint venture?
I think the biggest red flag, well, there's two. One is the time commitment. You don't want to go in and say, "Hey, this is really exciting," and then kind of bail on what you're offering. The other red flag is where it feels like it's an unfair sway one way or the other. If it feels like it's just a customer grab on either side, or you have people that are coming in with like a value-based kind of offer, but then it's really turned quickly into, well, what's the dollar amount on that? How do I know? What are you going to promise? And it moves from more of an introduction and a partnership to a referral network. That's okay, but you have to be very clear. You have to define those boundaries of what kind of a relationship is this, and we'll get into that as well. But the red flag is when you feel like those values, there's an incongruence between your values and their values. Thumbs up if you guys are good with this, or number one in the chat. I'm enjoying going through this. Kirsty's asking some good questions.